Hello, my fellow Alaskans. I am so glad to have you come and join us here today. We are live in our new studio. I am happy to say it is coming along nicely. As you can see from the last time I broadcasted from here, we have gotten rid of the silver background. We have had lots of construction work going on. We've had a lot of new improvements coming onto the scene here. Just to give you a quick preview of what we're looking at. We've done a little bit of trim work. We can see it's still coming along here. Still working on getting it all put together to have it all nice and presentable for everybody to be able to sit here and watch. We're planning on doing live broadcasts on a daily basis. But we've been doing a lot of work getting the studio built here inside of the room. And I just wanted to touch base with you all here today. And let's see, what would we like to talk about today? I'm sure you just got out and watched the debate between President Trump and Joe Biden, whatever name you may want to call that man. It was one of the worst shows that I have seen here in a long time. It was a kind of a comical being able to watch it going on. We have you may have saw on the top of my post that I had written there that I'm fresh out of Facebook jail. They had me locked down for the last couple of days for something that I had posted on my own personal page. I was smart enough not to post that onto Politadick, knowing that they would have probably flagged it as fake news, even though I was just pointing out that we have someone that is running for office, Al Gross. He had made a comment the other day on PBS that he stands for our Second Amendment rights and no worries about going after our guns, that he wants to make sure we can all have our right to our Second Amendment. And then shortly after that, he makes the announcement that, except for the AR-15s, he is going to, if he gets into office, that he is going to go right on after them. He claims that he's not for Medicare for all, but he wants to reform the Medicaid or Medicare, which direction you want to look at that. I mean, when you look at the old folks, the people like me and many others out there that have worked our entire lives and have put our own money into the program, and we expect to be able to use it when we get older, and it's going to be gone. It will no longer even be there by the time most of the generation that's up and coming now behind me and the rest of you, it won't be there for them. But they want to expand it, $32 trillion, $36 trillion, depends on who you look at. But I'm getting a little off subject here today. Again, I'm fresh out of Facebook jail. As you can see, I'm setting up a studio here within my own residence so that I can come and do live broadcast to all of you every single night and be able to just fill you in on the details of what's going on around the state. Today in Anchorage, they had their assembly meeting that was going on with our socialist dictator, communistic mayor, Ethan Berthowitz, and his far left assembly. And they were to be deciding on whether or not to extend his emergency powers. Any guesses on how that's going to turn out? I don't even think we have to take a guess. We know the assembly is just going to hand those emergency powers. They're going to continue it on with the mayor, and he's going to continue to use them to keep pushing his socialist agenda. Like the $6 million project that he has going on down at Potter's Marsh, I believe it is. Rebuilding of the boardwalks and everything else down there. Is going to hire a whole 12 people to put to work to spend $6 million. Ironically, that's the same amount of money that he gave to small businesses to be able to capitalize on as loans to be able to use to be able to help your struggling business. The 50% of the small businesses that have closed their doors forever or will be closing their doors forever. Do not expect our economy to recover anytime quickly. I'm expecting it will be until 2023, maybe 2024, before we even have a semblance of what we had before this lockdown had occurred. I'm not too sure where to go with today's conversation. I'm just happy to be out of jail. It was really nice. I can say it was nice to be able to take a step back away from Facebook the last few days, not post anything, just reading what other people were publishing out there and but just not being able to do anything in a general sense. You may have saw on the live video that I had for the Freedom Rally that was going on Saturday, got shut down by Facebook. They said I infringed upon copyright laws for the musical artists. I infringed upon their rights. It was not my music. It was not a part of my broadcast. It was not something that I had put there to be in my video. It was happening at a live event. Facebook is doing everything they can to shut down the conservative voice. My voice. You may have been one of the lucky few out there that got to see a Liz Willers from Tipping Point, and she was doing her broadcast here just about 2 days ago, and she was talking about how Facebook has cut down her reach and censored her. They have flagged her for what they want to classify as false news. Something about Kamala Harris and her statement that she had made as she was running for the presidential bid before she became this vice president running for Biden there, about her wanting to pass laws that are going to confiscate our guns, and that she has no hesitancy to use the police to do that. I guess from what Liz is putting out there, they have taken, we'll give you an example here. She gets 10,000 shares on a video before the lockdown happened on her page, and those 10,000 shares would reach over 1 million people. Now, this may sound small in comparison, but Facebook is doing the same thing to Politadick. When you share something from me, good example is I did a Blue Lives Matter rally here about 45 days ago, about a month and a half ago. And on that one, I had received roughly around 100 shares, maybe more than that. I haven't gone back and actually looked at it. But it had reached over 20,000 people. When you only have 3,000 followers, reaching 20,000 people is a milestone. This is not the first video I've had go like that. During that video, there's other Facebook pages, other watch parties that were started with it. And I was being reported that I had 4,000 people watching on this one video, another 6,000 watching on someone else's watch party during that. Just did my Trump rally. I had a whole 56 shares, and it reached 2,000 people. The last time, like I said, the Blue Lives Matter with 100 shares, it had reached 20,000 people. By the time I ended the video, it said that it had reached somewhere around 12,000. It climbed all the way up to 20,000. I am currently being censored by Facebook. They have made sure that my page is no longer reaching you. So if you're one of the lucky few that is seeing this video right now, thumbs up. Keep sharing. That is one of the biggest things that we can do to be able to keep that conservative voice going on out there, is to continue to keep sharing the information. They want to keep that information locked down so that the fewest amount of people can be able to hear or see what is going on. We are in one of the biggest elections in our lifetimes, one that is going to change the fundamental way our country is run, our state is run. I would like to point out also that I am not in favor of any one party. We saw the very first presidential debate today between Joe and Trump, and all I can say, it was a real crap show. It was not one that I would have considered a very good debate. If you were to do fact-checking and you were fact-checking what the fact-checkers were actually saying was true and what was false, watching the person that was moderating the event feeding Joe Biden his lines, helping him out, arguing with President Trump when he would say something versus what Joe was saying. That wasn't a debate. That was a debacle set up to try to make the far left out there look as good as they possibly could. Reminds me of a cartoon that I saw earlier today where Joe and him are standing at the debate podiums there on each side, and Joe has his intravenous feeds being fed up through the side there. I had to chuckle how every time that Trump went after Joe and started to make comments about his son Hunter Biden and his drug problem, that he had his cocaine issue, and then we got to go into Ukraine, and then we go into Russia and their $3.5 million that they paid his son Biden, Hunter, while Joe Biden was a part of Obama's administration as vice president. The $1.5 billion that was said, if you don't fire that prosecutor that is investigating Hunter's business out there that he's involved with, you're not getting that money, you know. Joe wanted to sidestep that. He kept saying, oh, no, that's not an issue. That's not something we should be discussing. Well, we got the same issues going on here in Alaska. Have you noticed, has anybody out there noticed that there has not been a single debate between the Democrats and the Republicans here in our state? They refuse to debate each other. They, for some reason, think that it is a good idea to just sit there and think that we are, as Alaskans, are too busy fishing, camping, getting ready for our winter that's coming, maybe harvesting our firewood, to really care about what the issues are. We don't care that they have full intention of raiding the entire PFD this year. Don't expect to see one this next year if you don't get out and vote. And that's going to be one of the biggest key critical things to have happen this year. The Democrats, the very far left rhinos that are still running in our elections, are counting on us to sit at home and not get out and vote. You saw in the primary elections we had, if you look at the districts throughout the entire state, basically a 10% turnout for our voters this year. The Division of Elections says it was 20%. I don't see that happening when you go and look at the different races that were out there. They say 10% here, 10% there, 10% of the voters voted in this one, 10% in that one, plus or minus 10% in each one. And they come back and say the overall average was a 20% turnout. We have never had a better than 20% turnout. Now we got Juneau, who is having their races going on right now to replace the assembly and school board members there in their little town. And they are doing direct mailing. If your name is on the voter roll, you are getting a ballot sent to you by mail. They have also removed the restriction that says you have to have a verifying signature on your ballot when it gets returned. Someone that's verifying that you are who you are. When they made claims tonight during the debate between Trump and Joe that there is no voters frauds going on, what do you think that is when you're not validating who is actually casting that ballot? It is just appalling to think that we're not going to be having problems in our nation left and right, especially here in Alaska. We saw it firsthand. We've got Gabrielle LeDuc's, and thank God that she got beat out in the primaries, but she's under voter fraud right now for literally ballot harvesting, which is what the Democrats have been talking about left and right. They are supposedly currently right now buying people's ballots from them, offering them the vote. They are legalizing convicted felons who have not finished their terms, that are still sitting in with their convictions on them, and allowing them to vote in our elections. California is one step away from passing their own laws. It's going to allow every single illegal immigrant to vote on our elections. This is just getting out of control. When did our country stop believing in our Constitution? It is just, I get so frustrated. It makes me want to pull out what little hair I have left. I need your help. I'm finding that doing this has become more expensive than I can afford to do anymore on my own. I need your help. I need you to click that donate button and support helping us grow. Everything that you see that is going on here in the studio, every piece of equipment that I've bought and purchased, has been done through very kind donations on your guys' parts out there, helping me to be able to keep this funded. Nice person who sent me $25 to go and do the Freedom Rally just to have both of those videos shut down. I'm in a dispute with Facebook right now, and the copyright that was on them, it should fall under the Fair Use Act. When it comes to music, I was live streaming a live event. I don't have control over that music. They should not have shut those videos down. They shut them down. This is the first time in almost 4 years that I have been running this page that they have shut a video down in the middle of broadcasting. I've received notices after the fact telling me this music was copyrighted. What would you like to do? Would you like us to mute that music? Would you like us to delete that section of your video out? What would you like us to do to be able to help you? Or do you have the rights to be able to play that music? Again, it wasn't my event. I didn't have the rights to play that music. That was someone else playing that music. It was the paid-for DJ that was at that event. But they shut the video down. 54 shares at the time they shut down my second video. I had been live streaming for 3.5 hours straight. From Cabals in Anchorage all the way out to the Big Lake Lions Club here in the valley. And stopping along the side of the road, watching the rally, the rolling rally roll by underneath the bridges, stopped at the weigh station, caught them rolling by there, kept racing by each other and commenting the entire way, keeping everybody and you, the Alaskans, informed on, and so that if those that couldn't participate in the event at least could vicariously do it through the live stream that I was providing. So what did Facebook do? 59 seconds worth of music when I had arrived at Big Lake, and it was for the song Thunder, na 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 na, you know that song, because that was playing in the background. They literally shut the video down. Told me in a message that flashed onto my screen that says we are shutting your video down. Everybody that had shared that video found it scrubbed from their page in about 2 seconds flat. And literally 10 seconds time after that message was there, I had close to 60 people all watching at the same time with me on that video, and I watched those 60 go straight down to nothing. Never in 3.5 years, almost 4 years, have I ever had Facebook shut a video down, a live stream down in the middle of live streaming it. This is how they're getting around to shutting down anything that shows anything positive for our country, anything that shows anything positive for the love of our nation, our American flag, our Constitution, the freedoms that we have. They don't want Americans seeing that there are people in this country, the majority of the silent majority that is out there, that support and loves our country. We are the greatest in the world. Almost 250 years, we are the freest country that has ever existed. We are the least racist of any country out there. But you wouldn't believe that if all you do is watch mainstream media. I am going to stop this video right here. I do thank you all for tuning in tonight. I just wanted to rant a little bit, preview a little bit of the new studio I am setting up here. Need your donations, though, to help me continue to keep this grow. One day I'm hoping to be able to start bringing people into the studio here and start doing one-on-one conversations and discussing the issues that are facing our state, or just doing a news broadcast for you all. I have intentions of setting up a television here over into the corner of the screen that I will have pre-programmed and ready to go clips that I will be sharing with you while I am talking. Today I'm just trying to freeform it just a little bit, shooting off the cuff and just talking to you regularly. Do appreciate y'all following my page and being here for the last 3.5 years. It was really sad to find myself shut down here again. And I do have a strike on my page for reporting what the CDC had reported here a little while back, which was 100% fact-checked and true. And just like what they had done to Liz Wheeler and shut down her reach, they've done the same thing to my page. When I was bringing up the Blue Lives Matter rally that had 20,000 views 45 days ago, that had 20,000 people that had seen that video, I watched the same videos that I was producing, live streaming at different events, reaching only a couple thousand people with the same amount of shares. So it wasn't like that. I wasn't still... You guys weren't out there watching it. You guys weren't sharing it. It's that Facebook was making sure that when you shared it, your friends never got a notification that you shared it. This is how they control us. This is how they silence us. Silently, the shadow ban that we hear about all the time. And it's getting out of control. So we got to work harder to make sure we get the information out to everybody out there so that everybody gets to know what's going on. Not just what the mainstream media is wanting us to be fed on a daily basis. Even my own notification and live feeds that I'm getting on my cell phone on a daily basis that I usually try to share stuff with you has been reduced to over half. I am not seeing what I was seeing a month ago. I'm not seeing what I was seeing 2 months ago, which was even more than I'm seeing now. They're restricting the conservative voice out there. But you name the Democrat page, you name the Democrat platform, I'm getting 5 to 10 notifications a day from them. When it comes to the conservative news, the conservative platforms, I am not receiving those notifications. I have to literally type in the page's name and go to them just to see what they're posting here, just so that I can keep myself up to date on the information that's going on out there. Again, thank you all for joining me here on this short little video for tonight. Don't forget to like and share. If you're curious about the hats sitting up here in front, I do have them for sale. They are Make Alaska Great Again hats. And they are, you can just private message me. I do ship them out. I do hand deliver if you're in my local immediate area. They are going fast. I'm on my 3rd batch of hats now. Get ready. More is coming. I am definitely growing Politadick. I am not going anywhere, no matter how much they try to silence my voice. I'm going to make sure I'm out there trying to do what I can do to help all of you keep informed. If I would have had the extra capital, I would have been at the Borough Assembly meeting, or the Anchorage Assembly meeting today, and been there to live stream the protesters that were out in front of the building. Not sure if any of you had seen any of that. Again, Mayor Communistic, Socialistic, Ethan Berkowitz was pretty sure he's been reestablished for his emergency powers so that they've been extended, which means Anchorage is still screwed. Over 50% of the businesses are closed in Anchorage still. The ones that are open have already told me that they don't think they're going to be there past the Christmas time. I have lost a good 30 to 40% of my normal business that I would have at this time of the year. Throughout this entire season, I've lost close to 70% of the business that I would normally have had. I myself am wondering if I'm still going to be surviving after Christmas. The money that I normally am able to put away to survive through the winter months did not come in this year. So if you're wondering why I'm not showing up at any of your events to live stream, it's just because I'm not getting any cash. My normal work is just not there to be able to help fund this anymore. And so that's where I'm asking you for your help. Donate a couple bucks, $5, $10, $25. Here soon, I'm hoping to be able to set up different links to where you can do a donation and I'll send you a hat. Do a larger donation, I'll send you a hat and hoodie. It all depends on you, on what the next level and the next steps that I can be able to do here. All proceeds that come into Politadick go right back into Politadick. I do not spend that on myself. Everything that you see here is so that I can bring a better show to you. Thank you all for joining us here tonight. Don't forget to like and share. Don't forget to click that donate button and help us grow. Have a great evening.